grand chamber of the obsidian rift buzzed with excitement, the vibrant lights reflecting off the sleek metallic surfaces and casting dynamic shadows that danced across the room. Captain Darius Blackthorne, infamous for his daring exploits and cunning strategies, stood tall at the center of the celebration. His deep ebony skin shimmered under the ambient glow as he raised a glass of aged stellar wine, a prized possession from their latest successful operation. Surrounding him, his crew of diverse outcasts and seasoned rogues erupted in cheers, their voices blending into a harmonious roar that filled the vast space vessel. "To the most audacious heist the galaxy has ever seen," Darius declared, his voice rich and commanding. The crew clinked their glasses, the sound resonating through the chamber like the roar of a victorious crowd. They had just pulled off the extraction of the luminous core, a legendary artifact guarded fiercely by the Celestial Federation. This prize was not just valuable, it was a symbol of their rebellion against the oppressive rule of the Federation. Lieutenant Nissa Vex, Darius's second-in-command and a master strategist, approached with a holographic display projected from her wrist communicator. "Captain, the Federation fleet is mobilizing. They're not going to let this theft go unanswered." Darius nodded, his expression steady and unyielding. "Let them come. We've outmaneuvered them before, and we'll do it again. Prepare the Obsidian Rift for departure. Our allies in the Crimson Expanse are ready to support us." As the crew moved swiftly to their stations, the atmosphere shifted from jubilant celebration to focused readiness. Darius's third eye, a cybernetic enhancement that provided him with tactical overlays and real-time data, flashed with incoming information about the approaching Federation ships. Their numbers were formidable, but Darius had absolute confidence in his crew's resourcefulness and determination. In the Obsidian Rift's command deck, the energy transformed from festivity to strategic precision. Darius addressed his team with unwavering authority. "We've secured the luminous core, but our journey isn't over. The Federation will retaliate, and we must be prepared to defend our freedom and everything we've built." Suddenly alarms blared, and the main screen flickered with the positions of enemy ships closing in. "Incoming vessels approaching at Warp 4, reported Ensign Mira Cade, the ship's communications officer. Darius's mind raced, calculating potential maneuvers. Activate cloaking protocols, divert power to the shield generators, and prepare the ion disruptors. The crew sprang into action, their movements a testament to their rigorous training and deep trust in Darius's leadership. The Obsidian Rift shimmered as it engaged its cloaking device, rendering the ship nearly invisible against the backdrop of space. The Federation ships, confident in their superior numbers and firepower, launched a barrage of plasma torpedoes. However, the Obsidian Rift shields absorbed the impact with minimal damage, a result of the crew's meticulous preparations and Darius's foresight. Nissa's third eye processed the tactical data at lightning speed. "Engaging ion disruptors now, targeting their flagship." A concentrated beam of ion energy shot forth, disabling the Federation flagship's engines and leaving it adrift and immobile. The remaining ships hesitated, momentarily thrown off balance by the unexpected counterattack. Darius took a deep breath, his gaze unwavering. "Now release the nebula mines. Let's turn their numbers against them." Lieutenant Soren Blaze Cade, the ship's tactical specialist, initiated the deployment sequence. Nebula mines are live and homing in on their fleet. Explosive devices designed to disrupt and dismantle enemy ships were released into the approaching fleet. As the mines detonated, the Federation ships were thrown into disarray, their formations collapsing under the onslaught. "Superior tactics and a well-coordinated crew," Darius remarked with a hint of pride. "This is why humanity stands strong." Recognizing the futility of their assault, the Federation fleet retreated under heavy fire. The Obsidian Rift exuded a sense of calm triumph as the immediate threat dissipated. Darius turned to his crew, his voice filled with gratitude. "Well done, everyone. Tonight, we've not only secured the luminous core but also sent a clear message. Humanity will defend its honor and its treasures with unwavering resolve." As the crew celebrated their victory, the Obsidian Rift's engines roared to life, propelling them toward the crimson expanse where their allies awaited. The journey ahead promised new challenges and adventures, but with Captain Darius Blackthorne at the helm, the Obsidian Rift was ready to face whatever the galaxy threw their way. Unbeknownst to the jubilant pirates aboard the Obsidian Rift, deep within the holding chambers of the stolen Federation vessel, a group of 12-year-old children meticulously worked on a plan that would ensure their safety and the downfall of their captors. Lila Chen, a prodigious mind trained since birth for this very scenario, carefully removed the false bottom of her boot, retrieving a compact device that would spell doom for the pirates. Her actions were swift and silent, a testament to the countless drills and simulations she had endured. The children had been abducted from the New Eden colony, a human outpost designed explicitly as a trap for marauders like Darius's crew. The colony's emergency response center had been activated precisely 3 minutes after the abduction, triggering a chain reaction that would mobilize the entire human fleet in retaliation. David Chen, the colony's head of security and Lila's father, watched the unfolding chaos with a mixture of determination and sorrow. Parents aren't crying or begging. Instead, they're transforming into something the galaxy has never seen before. Predators with purpose. They understand that taking our children will only cost them dearly. David Chen, many of whom were engineers, terraformers, and security personnel, nodded grimly. One mother, a former combat medic, was already pulling up colony defense schematics on her terminal. A father in his mining uniform checked his personal arsenal, preparing for the inevitable confrontation. "New Eden Colony, Code Black." David's voice rang out clearly. 57 children taken, requesting immediate military response. The message shot through quantum channels, reaching Earth within seconds. At EDF headquarters in Geneva, Commander Maya Rodriguez stood before the Joint Chiefs, her dark eyes reflecting holographic displays of fleet movements. Her reputation as the woman who dismantled the Proxima pirates and eradicated the Centu cartel preceded her. Today, she would lead humanity's response against the Obsidian Rift. "Our intel suggests the pirates are hiding in the Scarlet Nebula." Maya pointed to a swirling mass of red gases on the tactical display. "They believe the radiation masks their presence, but every child in that colony has a subdermal quantum tracker, not for surveillance, but for exactly this scenario. We've been preparing for years." The Joint Chiefs exchanged knowing looks. The pirates had triggered a contingency plan decades in the making. "I want the 7th Fleet for the primary assault," Maya continued. Rodriguez's voice carried the weight of inevitable victory. "The 3rd and 5th Fleets are designated for containment. My special operations team will handle the infiltration." Fleet Admiral Chen, whose surname was a coincidence that did not go unnoticed, declared, "Understood, Commander. The rest of the fleet will follow your orders." Maya's smile was one of cold determination. "They're professionals, sir. They'll demand ransom and try to negotiate. But we don't negotiate with those who take our children. Tactical nuclear options are authorized. If they hide in a nebula, we'll make it their tomb within hours." The largest human fleet assembled since the Mars Rebellion moved with deadly purpose. Support ships carried enough firepower to obliterate a continent, while medical vessels prepared not for human casualties, but for recovering children. Humanity was about to demonstrate the true extent of their military prowess. On the flagship EDF Damascus, Commander Rodriguez reviewed the manifest of the taken children, her eyes lingering on one name: Lila Chen. She was the girl who had been trained since birth for this possibility, a honey trap years in the making. "Commander, the quantum trackers are active and mapping their base layout," her communications officer reported. Rodriguez nodded with pride mixed with anticipation. The pirates thought they had captured helpless children, but they've taken the next generation of humanity's defenders. Kids raised on stories of past attacks, trained to be both victims and vengeance. Send word to all ships. Operation Maelstrom is now active. Weapons free. No mercy. The Damascus's engines flared to life, leading an armada of retribution toward the Scarlet Nebula. Somewhere within those crimson clouds, Captain Darius Blackthorne was about to learn why some species were marked as "Do Not Engage" in the galactic database. The Scarlet Nebula loomed before the human fleet like a wound in space, massive clouds of crimson gas swirling and concealing whatever lay within. To most species, it was the perfect hiding place, but humanity's enhanced sensors made it as good as clear glass. Multiple contacts appeared on the Damascus's sensors. 15 small vessels in patrol formation, the sensor officer called out. They're arranged in a predictable grid pattern, like pieces on a chessboard. Time to teach them how humans play chess. Rodriguez ordered. Launch Ghost Squadron, execute Standard Harassment Protocol 6. 6 sleek fighters detached from the Damascus's belly, their stealth systems rendering them nearly invisible. The pilots were hand-picked veterans, each with more combat hours than most alien species had space travel time. Ghost Squadron was the elite force that had earned their reputation through countless successful missions. Remember, we're not here to win. We're here to make them panic. Captain Jack Morrison of Ghost Squadron's lead fighter communicated through the comm system. Engage and disrupt. The fighters dove into the nebula, their enhanced sensors cutting through the interference. Within minutes, they identified their first target, a small Corvette-class vessel serving as a patrol ship. The ship never saw them coming. 2 precision strikes disabled its engines and communications before the crew could register the attack. Ghost Squadron vanished back into the crimson clouds, leaving chaos in their wake. Target neutralized, Morrison reported, moving to second. The scene repeated itself 4 more times over the next hour. Each attack was precise, deliberate, and terrifying for the pirates. No demands, no warnings. Just silent, effective strikes from an unseen enemy. On the Damascus's bridge, Rodriguez watched the chaos unfold. The remaining patrol ships broke formation, clustering together in panic. Perfect. Launch Phase 2, she commanded. Let's show them what real fear looks like. Growled. The Damascus's main guns activated, firing concentrated plasma beams that cut through the nebula. The blast superheated the gas into brilliant patterns of light and energy. The shots deliberately wide of the pirate vessels, but sending a clear message. The pirate ships had nowhere to hide. Incoming transmission from their flagship, the comm officer announced. Putting it through, Captain Darius Blackthorne's agitated face appeared on the main screen, his scales dulled and his third eye twitching nervously. This is restricted space. You are violating, Rodriguez cut him off, her voice colder than the vacuum of space. You have something that belongs to us. The children are unharmed. We can negotiate. A plasma beam sliced through one of his remaining patrol ships, cutting it in half. The explosion painted the nebula in shades of orange and blue. I don't think you understand, Rodriguez, Darius continued as if nothing had happened. This isn't a negotiation. This isn't even a battle. This is pest control. Ghost Squadron struck again, taking out 3 more ships in rapid succession. The remaining pirates broke ranks completely, fleeing in random directions. Several ships crashed into each other in their panic, a testament to the effectiveness of the human counterattack. You're insane, Vexer, Darius sputtered, his frustration evident. Rodriguez leaned forward, her smile reminiscent of a wolf spotting wounded prey. No, this is restrained. You took children. If we were being disproportionate, this nebula would already be a supernova. The Damascus's targeting systems locked onto Darius's flagship, not to fire, but to let him know they could retaliate further if needed. "Return the children, surrender your crew, and we'll let you live," Rodriguez declared. The Spanish words were English and French, and were corrected to the language. "Refuse, and we'll show you why humans are the only species in known space that still maintains dedicated warships. You wouldn't dare challenge the Galactic Council." Another patrol ship exploded, this time from a mine laid by Ghost Squadron during their earlier passes. "Check your database, Captain. Humans aren't signatories to the Galactic Council's conventions on proportional response. We made that very clear. After the last time someone took our children," the transmission cut off abruptly. On the tactical display, the remaining pirate vessels scrambled into defensive positions around their hidden base, movements panicked and uncoordinated. Ghost Squadron returned to base, and Rodriguez ordered, "Phase 1 complete. Begin Phase 3. Remind the galaxy why humanity's children are off limits." Inside the pirate base, the holding cells were far from comfortable, but they suited Lila Chen's purposes perfectly. The 12-year-old sat cross-legged on her bunk, eyes half closed as she observed the guard rotations. 3 guards changed every 4 hours, a predictable and boring amateur routine. "Hey, weird lizard guy Tommy Parker, age 8, whispered Jamie Roberts from the next cell. "Age 8? Times like that at one." The guard's universal translator crackled, struggling to make sense of the children's playground slang. Meanwhile, 6-year-old Penny Wu slipped something from her belt pouch, a small device that would aid their escape. The children had turned pickpocketing into a game, seeing who could snag the most useful items from their captors. Lila continued working on the small pile of components they'd collected. A power cell here, a communication chip there. The pirates hadn't bothered to check their shoes or the seams of their clothes. Why would they? She mused. They're just children. "Status report," she whispered through the hidden comm network they'd established using stolen parts. "Section A ready," came the reply from Ryan in the boys' cell block. "Figure out their door code." "Section B halfway there," another voice responded from Sophie's cell. "Got them convinced she's allergic to their food." "Section C, medical bay mapped," added a third voice. "Kevin still thinks he has space flu." Lila nodded with pride swelling in her chest. The children of the New Eden colony had been preparing for something like this their entire lives. Monthly drills disguised as games, survival classes masked as summer camp. While their parents handled the obvious defenses, the kids were the colony's secret weapon. A commotion outside drew her attention. Lieutenant Cara Voss was berating the guards, her serpentine body coiled in agitation. "The humans are coming. They've destroyed half our patrol fleet." Her voice carried through the supposedly soundproof cells. "How are they supposed to be primitive?" "Sir," one guard gestured to the cells. "Should we move the prisoners deeper into the base?" Lila tensed. "That wouldn't work with our plan." "No time," Kara hissed. "Just increase the guard rotation and check all their cells. The captain thinks they might have some kind of tracking device." Too late. Alarms blared throughout the base as the lights flickered, switching to emergency power. Lila's quantum tracker pulsed against her ankle, acknowledging the signal. "Mom and Dad are coming. Time for Phase 2. "Ready to play pirates?" she whispered to her fellow captives. 56 grins answered in the darkness. The real fun is about to begin. The Damascus broke through the nebulous crimson clouds like an ancient warship emerging from fog. Behind it, the combined might of 3 human fleets took formation, ships of every size filling the void from nimble corvettes to hulking dreadnoughts. All ships were on battle stations. Commander Rodriguez's voice carried across all channels. "Initiate Operation Bedlam." The first wave began with a symphony of missile launches. Hundreds of warheads streaked through space, their targeting systems linked to the quantum trackers. They weren't aimed at the pirate base. Instead, they detonated in precise patterns around it, igniting the nebula gases into a wall of fire rushing toward the hidden station. Inside the pirate base, Captain Darius Blackthorne watched in horror as his supposedly perfect hiding spot became a death trap. "Raise all shields, launch everything we have," he ordered desperately. Pirate fighters poured from concealed hangars only to meet Ghost Squadron lying in wait. The resulting dogfight was less a battle and more an execution. Human pilots, trained since childhood in virtual combat pods, demonstrated why Earth considered fighter combat an art form. "Ground team, you have your window," Rodriguez commanded from the Damascus's launch bay. 3 sleek dropships detached, their hulls painted matte black to absorb both light and sensor signals. Each carried a team of Special Forces operators, the best humanity had to offer. "Thunder 1 through 3, on approach," Captain Marcus Chen of Thunder Team reported. "Lila's got them exactly where we want." The dropships slipped through gaps in the pirate base's shield coverage, gaps mapped by the children using stolen tech. They landed on the outer hull with magnetic clamps engaging barely a sound. Inside, Lila Chen felt the subtle vibrations beneath her feet. "We're almost there," she whispered through the makeshift comm network. "The show's about to start." Special Forces breached the hull at 3 points simultaneously. Thunder 1, led by Captain Chen, cut through the maintenance section. Thunder 2 dropped into the power distribution hub. Thunder 3 emerged right outside the command center. Contact was made swiftly. "Cell Block A secured," reported Lilo's daughter's voice with professional clarity. "Tommy's team has control of their security station. Jim's group is barricaded in the armory. Penny's little ones are safe in the maintenance shafts. You've got a clear path to the command center." The Special Forces teams converged on their target, encountering sporadic resistance. Most pirates were too busy trying to figure out how the children had taken control of half their base to mount an effective defense. Commander Rodriguez watched the tactical display with satisfaction. The pirate fleet was in ruins, their base defenseless. She turned her attention to Captain Darius Blackthorne, who broadcasted on all frequencies. "Your base is infiltrated, your ships are destroyed, your shields are down. But I'm giving you one last chance. Surrender now." The response came in the form of wild plasma fire from the base's remaining weapons. The shots went wide, barely grazing the human ships. "I guess that's a no," Rodriguez replied. "Thunder Team, execute breach," she ordered. "Ghost Squadron, begin attack run Omega. All ships targeting solutions, lock fire on my mark." The next 60 seconds demonstrated why humanity's militaries never downsized after achieving peace. Thunder Team breached the command center from 3 directions, their weapons firing with precise bursts. Ghost Squadron strafed the base's surface, destroying any remaining defense turrets. The combined human fleet launched a barrage that lit up the nebula like a new star being born. As the chaos cleared, Captain Darius Blackthorne found himself staring down the barrel of Captain Marcus Chen's rifle. Thunder Team had secured the room with mechanical efficiency. Through the command center's windows, Darius could see human ships surrounding his ruined base. "Congratulations, Chen," Darius said, his voice carrying the weight of a father whose child had been threatened. "You survive. Now let me introduce you to something humans call consequences." Darius knelt on the command center floor, surrounded by Thunder Team operators. His crew were either dead or captured. His mighty pirate empire crumbled in hours. But something wasn't adding up. "How did you find us so quickly?" he demanded. "How?" Lila Chen walked into the command center, still wearing her prison jumpsuit, now accessorized with a stolen pirate comm unit. Behind her, the other children emerged from various hiding spots, many carrying pirated weapons and tech. Lila picked up one of the pouches, plucked out 3 races, then gave them to her brother. "You wouldn't believe it if we hadn't practiced since kindergarten," she grinned, giving her father a high five as she passed him. Oh, right, you probably don't know what kindergarten is. Captain Chen couldn't hide his proud smile. You see, Darius, you didn't just attack any colony. You attacked New Eden, the colony founded specifically to bait pirates like you. Impossible, isn't it? Darius's third eye blinked rapidly. The colony has only existed for 15 years. Exactly, Rodriguez confirmed. 15 years ago, after the last attempted child snatching, Earth Command decided to set a trap. We needed to end this practice permanently. Lila pulled up her sleeve, revealing a small scar. Every child in the colony has a quantum tracker. Not just any tracker, but one specifically designed to work in nebula interference. My dad made sure of that when he designed the colony's security protocols, Captain Chen continued. Lila is not just my daughter. She's the prototype, the first of a new generation, trained to turn kidnapping attempts into ambushes. Those monthly school drills, combat training, summer camp survival courses, play dates, team tactical exercises, all were part of the preparation, announced Mariner, and the other children mirrored her, taking up positions around the room with practiced precision. Tommy Parker was already hacking into the base's mainframe, his small fingers flying over the alien controls. We've been practicing for this since kindergarten, Lila added. You picked us because we looked helpless, because human children are supposed to be soft, weak targets. You never wondered why a frontier colony had so many children in the first place? Darius's scales had turned pale. The whole colony was a trap. Every parent is either military or law enforcement. Every child is trained for exactly this scenario. We knew someone would eventually take the bait. We just had to wait. But the ransom demands, Darius whispered, realizing too late. Those were never going to work. Leela laughed. We needed you to stall, to keep your fleet in place while we were dismantling your base from the inside. Those bathroom breaks, mapping your facilities, counting steps, noting security checkpoints, they were all part of the plan. The medical emergencies were staged to test your response protocols. The stolen components were building our own command and control network. A holographic display sprang to life, showing the full extent of the children's handiwork. Every system in the base had been compromised, every security measure mapped and countered. Consider this a lesson, Rodriguez declared, one that the galaxy desperately needed to learn. Human children aren't easy targets. They're not weak or helpless. They're the next generation of humanity's defenders, and you just gave them their final exam. Lila stepped forward, meeting Darius's terrified gaze. By the way, we all passed with flying colors. Thanks for the practice run. Commander Rodriguez circled Darius like a shark sizing up wounded prey. The pirate leader had lost everything, his fleet, his base, his reputation. Now, surrounded by human forces and thoroughly outsmarted by children, he had one last card to play. You know, there are others like me. This won't stop. Children will always be valuable targets. Rodriguez stopped in front of him, her expression carved from stone. That's exactly what we wanted you to think, right up until this moment. She nodded to Lila, who activated the base's long-range communications. The quantum broadcast reached every corner of known space. This is Commander Rodriguez of the Earth Defense Force. To all pirates, slavers, and would-be kidnappers, you've just witnessed the complete destruction of the largest pirate fleet in the Ramita Arm. Your mistake was thinking human children were easy targets. The children gathered behind me, standing tall and proud. Tommy still typing away at the controls. Penny coordinating with the rescue teams. Let me be clear, every human colony is a trap. Every human child is a trained defender. Every attempted kidnapping will end like this one. Consider this your only warning. Darius! Darius lunged suddenly, a hidden blade extending from his scales before anyone could react. But Lisa swept his legs with a practiced move, and Tommy hit him with a stolen stun baton. The mighty pirate captain went down, taken out by two kids who hadn't even hit their teens. Lila sighed. That was just embarrassing. The Damascus medical teams arrived, checking each child despite their protests that they were fine. Parents would be arriving soon on fast transport ships, though many, like Captain Chen, were already there as part of the assault team. "Mission accomplished," Rodriguez declared, watching as Darius was led away in chains. "Let's go home." As the children boarded their rescue ships, many were already asking when they could do their next training exercise. After all, this had been way more fun than regular school. Somewhere in the galaxy, as the footage of the battle spread, many pirates were hastily updating their target lists. At the top, in bold letters, the message was clear: never target human children.